What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex G alongside Mal, and this is the Couple of Things podcast where we are here to talk about a couple of things. Yes.
Yeah. Even though, funny enough, a couple means two. And we talk about more than two things. Anyways.
What's your highest level of education?
Masters. Isn't that such a flex when you fill out like applications and stuff and be like, what's your highest level? And you're like, you put masters.
I need that doctorate, I'm not gonna lie.
I know, because that is the highest.
Just for the flex. Not that anybody cares, but.
Just to say it. My name's Dr. Garris. That would kind of be funny. You know what? When you get your master's, you know it's only 2 more years to do your doctorates. So it would be just quick, nothing.
Wouldn't be crazy.
It's just a lot of work because dissertations. There's a lot of writing.
Oh, I have a do-rag on.
You do?
I'm definitely wilding right now.
I didn't even peep. I thought that was on purpose, actually.
Yeah, nah. Definitely wilding.
I want to get my doctorates, but I'm going to get my CPA. I'm going to do it. Your dad brought it up tonight.
Oh, the CPA?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got the whole world.
I know.
Because you sitting there talking
about
it.
Yeah, I was like, future CPA. I'm going to be a CPA. Look, and I posted when I got notarized. I'm like, look, I'm notarized. I got, I'm in the system. I'm a candidate now. Took one test and just gave up. And I didn't even study for that test as much as I should have. But I'm going to do it. 2024, this is our year. Yeah, get to that bread. I had a motivational conversation with your dad. And my mom, your dad literally says the same thing my mom says. So I'm like, dang. I hate when people say the same thing. And I'm like, dang, maybe she's right.
A whole lot of rings on the pod.
I know she's right, but I just don't listen. Anyway,
let's do it.
We're going to get into some things.
Yeah, this one
I'll leave into it
because
I feel like I've seen this a lot. But anyway, lately on the timeline, there's been a lot of tweets, and I think there was one tweet in particular that set it off, which usually that's the case, and then everybody else makes tweets, and then theirs might go viral too. But there's been a conversation about male-centered friends and male-centered women just in general. And this has kind of been a topic I've already seen because I see a lot of TikToks where this has been a topic. And I think everything on social media is all kind of intermingled. So sometimes something from Twitter goes viral and people bring it to TikTok. I've seen so many times, I don't know if you ever seen it, where somebody will make a TikTok and they'll literally verbatim say something that exactly like word for word what a viral tweet says.
Yeah.
Or the people made that tweet because they saw the TikTok. So it's one or the other. But a lot of people see something that's hot and like popular and they'll put it on another social media site.
For sure.
So I did see the conversation about male-centered friends on TikTok for a while because I be reposting some of them, not gonna lie, because I be feeling it. Like I be feeling the stuff that the people are saying, they just talk about like things that you should avoid in friendships. And on TikTok, that's what they're saying, like one thing you should avoid is male-centered friends, and they explain why. So yeah, like I said, it made its way to Twitter, and I started a lot of conversation in the past week about male-centered friends. And I think like the original tweet, what the person means by male-centered friends and what I interpret male-centered friends to mean, or just male-centered women, is somebody who centered, like, you literally center men in your life. Like everything you do revolves around men, or like not everything you do, but like you're very boy crazy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I interpret it as you're boy crazy to the point where lives could be at risk. Like I wrote down like it could be as minor as like minor cases, simply like maybe you're kind of jealous of your friend a little bit, right? Like maybe you go out and your friend is maybe more attractive, so guys constantly go up to her, and now you're like, say something random like, "Oh my God, guys!" Like let's pretend that somebody talking about me. Mal, she's so weird sometimes. Like she sleeps with her eyes open. That's so weird, right? And it's like, why? Where did that come from? Because I'm not to be like conceited, but I feel like I've dealt with that with friends, like overdoing it. It's like you're laughing so hard your gums are showing. It's like, dang, it was that funny. Mal is so, oh my God, look at her. She's so dumb. Mal thinks this is this. Like she's so like, just actually I've dealt with that. And I'm like, okay. Like, I used to be annoyed with them, like, okay. Like, or just simply a guy might be coming up to you. She has a boyfriend, and you might, I had a boyfriend during those moments, of course, but it's like, dang, like, calm down. It's like so quick to be like, she has a boyfriend. Or sometimes you won't have a boyfriend, and it'll still be like, oh my God. And my most male-centered friend, I felt like one of the most male-centered friends I've dealt with, obviously, actually did that early on freshman year. Like me and you weren't even dating yet. Like it was like I met you like 2 days before, and she like pulled me, like this guy was like dancing with me, pulled me away. Oh my God, Alex is gonna see you. I'm like, I just met Alex 2 days ago. Like that's not my man. You know, it was and funny enough, she was the one.
Relax.
No, I'm saying like
Relax.
the signs were there, but it's like that's what I mean. Like that's male centered friends. Like you're low key jealous because maybe you thought that guy was attractive. That was wanting to dance with me. You know. So now you pulling me away. Oh my God, Alex, gonna see you. Come here, Mel. What are you doing? Like, what do you mean? That's not my boyfriend. I met the nigga 2 days ago. Like, I can't dance with other people. Like, what? So you know that's like one example. So it's like more minor stuff like that, like jealousy, competition. Like you feel like they're competing with you. And this could happen for men too, like with women centered friends. Like we talked about the Juicy skit where you get around a woman and now all of a sudden your guy friends like trying to like, you know, what do you call it? Like shadow box, you know what I mean? Like, so, but yeah, for women, it's like, you know, you might feel competitive vibes. You might feel like she's hating on you. You might feel like she's jealous of your looks or just like, you know, jealous of the male attention you get. Like maybe it's effortless to you. Maybe you're able to talk to guys or they just come up to you all the time. Like no effort. Like you're not doing nothing. You're sitting in the club and they're twerking and stuff and the guys still, they're not even looking at them. They want to talk to you and you're just sitting there doing a two-step, you know? You get that jealous vibes. Like I've dealt with it. So that's more minor stuff. But it could become more severe where there's cases like your friend might pursue a guy that you like. Your friend might sleep with a guy that you like. Your friend might sleep with your boyfriend. That's like, I would consider like middle tier. Then there's high tier where you literally could die. So I picked like Alexis Crawford. For anybody who doesn't know, she was a college student in Georgia, I think, who had a roommate. They were like best friends. Like this girl was in her house for Thanksgiving type friend. Like it's not like you were just roommates. Like they were friends in your house, like sleep, like spending the night, like spend the holiday there. Because like she doesn't have like a good relationship with her family. Her boy, like, you know, she had a boyfriend. Her boyfriend, RAPEs, the girl Alexis. Like, I think it went that far. It was some type of assault, but I'm pretty sure it was like penetration. The girl Alexis was drunk. Like, they all were drinking. Like, you imagine all three of them were just chilling in their dorm drinking. She gets really drunk, and he ends up doing that. She tells her roommate, because that's like her roommate, that's your best friend. Like, your boyfriend literally raped me. Like, I don't know if I can say that word, but I think we can, right? They get in a fight. She probably didn't believe her, or she, you know, maybe she did believe her and was just mad, or maybe she didn't believe her. Like, what? Like, you're lying? Because, you know, male-centered woman, you value that male connection over your own friend. So maybe you think she's lying, or maybe you think she wanted it too, right? They get in a fight. They weren't really close after that. Then they kind of try to rekindle. They go out. The Alexis girl, I guess the other girl had a car. Say, hey, let's go out to buy some bottles. They come back, a fight starts again. Apparently they were fighting. The boyfriend jumps in the fight, strangles Alexis to death, like kills her. The girlfriend then pursues, like, you know, not pursue, what's the word after that? Like
Proceeds
to then go dump her body in like a random park in Atlanta. Like trash, like just throw her out. Like that's not your own friend with the guy. Now you're probably doing life in prison for that. So that's you know, that's what I mean. Like there's tiers. There's the jealousy, the minor incidents, the middle tier, the max. And I think those warning signs start with those minor incidents. Some people outgrow that, or they just never go beyond the mid tier or the lower tier. But some people could evolve into killing. And another example I wrote was this recent case with Madeline Soto. She's a 13-year-old that just they found out she died. We assume the person that killed her is her stepdad. But her stepdad, they have him in jail now because they found CP on his phone of him sexually assaulting this girl since she was 11. Like they said, pictures back in 2022. 2 years under your roof, your daughter being sexually assaulted by a man that you're dating. You have to have known. As a mom, you had to have known. You had to. Male-centered. You put your own daughter over, like you put a man over, you know, your own daughter, like, and now still possibly covering up for him. Like he's crying in the news interviews, you like consoling him, and you most likely know that he has something to do with your daughter's death. You know, male-centered woman. So there's tiers to it, and I know I've been on a long tangent, but
you have.
I'm just trying to explain like the tiers. And I just think some people have been misinterpreting it because I see a lot of men that are taking it as like, you know, because men are tired of women constantly slandering them on the internet. I get it. So I think they're taking this as another dig. Like women are saying, because women are be like, male-centered women don't deserve sisterhood. That was one of the ones, the controversial ones. And people are like, dang, so women don't deserve sisterhood just because they value men. I'm like, we're not talking about valuing men. Like, because you know me, I'm the biggest not pick me. I'm the biggest, like, I hate women that constantly hate on men because I feel like they could, in a way, be male-centered because you center your life talking about men all the time. But you just talk about them from a hating standpoint. But I do, you know me, I'm the biggest, like, accountability. Women need to stop doing everything. Everything is men's fault. But I think people are misinterpreting this, that men are taking it as we're complaining about women that just value men. I'm like, no, we're complaining about the stuff I just explained, you know? And yeah, I think people are misinterpreting it because, and I, you know, not saying, you know, I see two sides. So I do feel like some women who hate men probably are, like the examples I gave, they probably are also like compiling minimal stuff into that male-centered category. You know what I mean? So like, for example, for me, when one of my friends, when we stopped being friends, tried to throw out the whole, oh, you started abandoning me when you got in a relationship, which was a dead lie because, you know, I was literally hanging out with her all the time. Didn't miss a beat. Didn't miss a birthday party. Didn't miss nothing. Like I was never the friend to be like, I can't hang out, guys. I want to hang out with my man. I was never that friend. And you know that. Like I'm like you seen
you would always abandon me for them.
Yeah, that's messed up to say, but like literally all my life, I've never been that friend. Like I show up. Like I'm not the best texter, I'm not the best caller, but I'll be there at whatever event you have, unless I really have a reason I can't go, you know? So I hated that she tried to play that with me. Cause like I said, hating shit, like she was a low-key hater. I'm like, you're a liar. I never once bailed you. So don't do that. But some woman will take a situation like me, where I might spend less time with you now, could have someone else in my life. They might put me in a male-centered women category because they're just haters. So that's what, you know, there is nuance to this. There is people that will put mind or stuff like that. Like, oh, she's male-centered. She's always with her man. That's all she hangs out with. No. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about, like I said, the jealousy, the competition, the sleeping with your friend's man, and the killing your own daughter, or, you know, supporting a man who killed your own daughter. That's what we're talking about here. Helping your boyfriend dump a body for your own best friend who was raped by your man. Like, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about people who have a boyfriend or a husband. You know, because and some people definitely categorize that as male-centered, and they're just, you know. So, say all that to say, there is nuance to it, but I feel like this is a real issue, and that was the whole point of this like conversation in the tweets, where those should be people who don't deserve sisterhood, and those should be friends you avoid. So I'll give you a chance to talk. I talked a whole bunch, but like, do you feel like that's true? Like, do you feel like they? Because that's the biggest question. Do you feel like they deserve sisterhood? Male-centered women. Do you feel like they deserve sisterhood, like the bond and the love that comes with true woman friendships?
To me, I feel like it depends, because you can be focused on something like that. Like, you could be male focused and not to the detriment of your friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it really depends. Like, if you want to, because you can be male centered, you're out with all your women friends, and then you just go break off and you're going to do your own thing.
But that could also be an issue, because sometimes people will abandon their friends, like in the bar. Like, imagine you go to the bar with your friend, and she leaves you there alone to go hook up with a man. Like, similar to my situation that I was in, where my friend wanted to hook up with that man, had us in his car, stranger, in his house, 25 minutes away, and then left me in the room with that man's friend to go have sex with the guy. That's crazy. You know what I mean? I think that's still male-centered activity. Because you left me in a room alone with a man that I don't know, and you're my friend. If anything, have sex in the room with me. Don't leave the room. I don't care. If you want to have sex in front of me, go ahead. But don't leave me in that room by myself. And sometimes people do. They'll go to the bar, like they'll break up, but they'll leave their friend by themselves.
I have a certain perspective on that whole situation, which I'm not going to discuss on camera.
So do you feel like that was a male-centered activity? Like, do you feel like she was a male-centered woman?
I think she was, but you're still at fault in that scenario too.
Why? I should have stopped her from going.
No, you could let her go do whatever she wants because that's
I
my.
shouldn't have. I went.
No, you shouldn't have went.
Yeah, but then that would have made me a bad friend. Oh,
I don't think so.
Mal, you let go by herself. Oh, that's
I
her
don't.
name. Oh my god, my bad. You can beep it up. I'll write it down in time. 15 of them. You let so and so go by herself. Like you didn't stop her. Why would you not go with her? Like I think I was still being a good friend in that position. Like because there was no stopping her. She was going to go. There was no stopping her. So it was like. But I would say I could have been like, I'll give her a fake name, Bree. No, we're not going. Come on, we're not going. You're not going with him. No. We don't know him. We're not going to his house. I could have did that, and I will say I was a friend that just kind of let my friends do what they wanted to do, which is not always a good thing.
But even then, I don't know. I don't know if that makes somebody a bad friend. Like you got grown ass people.
Yeah.
To me, I'm not going. Like
I'm not a babysitter.
I'm not responsible for my friend's safety. Like that don't even make sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. I'm just not. Like I understand the whole like I get the concept of that, and I'm not a woman, so obviously I don't deal with the type of threats that you guys deal with. But to me, in my opinion, you being a friend to somebody does not mean that you're responsible for their safety. Now, you shouldn't put somebody in harm's way, but you're also not responsible for making sure that other people make good decisions. And that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, my outlook is on it is that we kind of came together, so it's like make sure everybody gets back to at least the house because we all were at a house. We met up at a house. Remember, I think you dropped me off at the house, like at a house.
Because then, what if you're both dead then?
I know.
And you wanted to go because you were being a good friend. So while that's my whole point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, she put you in that scenario because she was a male-centered woman. You still went. To be honest, I don't give a fuck about anything that would have happened to her. Like that's her.
And that's why I remember when you picked me up.
Yeah,
you was about to leave her there, and I still was being a good friend. Like, we can't leave her. You was about to dip. That was the crazy situation. Like the fact I had to text you and be like, "Please come get me." Like I'm scared.
And then you had them.
Yeah, then they was threatening.
They were threatening to go and kill me. Like
yeah.
So to me,
like, what? Cause we're picking up something like. Ugh.
So to me, like. You were at fault. Now what if I'm dead, right? So that's my thing, right? And I wouldn't have.
And now all these people gotta suffer because this girl wanted to be a freaking thought popper. Like.
So to me,
have some discernment. Yeah, it's like a lose-lose situation because I feel like that would have came back to bite me. Like if she would have went by herself, like she would have definitely made a thing of that.
Oh no, she definitely would have. But to me, I don't care about I promise
yeah, my life comes first. Sorry.
Yeah, listen, I promise you, I don't care about public perception, right? Like one of the things that's indicative of that. It would have been
about public perception. It just would have been strife in the friendship. It would have been.
It could have been strife. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like to me, like you can't do something like. You can't do something that's harmful and then be mad that somebody didn't cover you doing something that's harmful or dangerous. Like that doesn't make sense to me. You can't like go like carry a unregistered gun on you and you going out with your friend and then you're mad because they didn't like stash the gun for you or something like that. Like that to me is just stupid. So that's one of those situations. Like, yes, you shouldn't put your friend in harm's way, but you also should have friends that don't put themselves in harm's way because they're irresponsible as a friend.
Yeah. And that's why you do have to have discernment sometimes with choosing your friends. I think sometimes we put so much like into our friendships at that age, like, oh, like because our situation, like, oh, we've been friends since birth, like our parents were friends, like you're my lifelong friend, like. But I feel like if you see signs in somebody that you shouldn't like be friends with them, because like I didn't experience that in college with some of my friends. I feel like all my friends were smart about we got to give it back. I mean, most of them were like, there was no. Oh, I'm about to dip off to go with this guy. Or there was no leaving us in bad situations. Never. And
yeah, it's tough. I like
because yeah, it was a rough situation.
I get the perspective of it's a tough situation, but I don't know, man. Like it's because you got to just straddle that line of allowing people to be an adult and make their own decisions.
Yeah, and being a good friend.
Yeah, and to me, I don't know. Like, to me, I don't blame the person that doesn't want. So if you were in that situation, right? Mm-hmm. If you didn't want to be in that situation, to me personally, because I have some sort of common sense and logic, there's no way that you could be blamed for not wanting to be put in that situation.
Yeah, I could have
regardless of what happened to her.
I could have been like, I'm sorry, like I love you, but I'm not going. I'm not doing this. Like I don't know these men. Like I'm not getting in this car. Like I love you, I'm not going. If she would have went and something would have happened to her, like. That just would have been on her. She's the adult who makes adult decisions. If anybody else, like on our friend group, would have been mad, I would have been like, don't be mad. Like, I tried to stop her. She's a grown woman. She's gonna do what she wants to do. Like, what was I supposed to do? Drag her? I wasn't gonna put myself in that situation because, like, I don't know these people. So why should I have to, why should I have to be at a disadvantage to make someone else comfortable?
Yeah, let's use a different example too, because I still do have like certain feelings
Yeah, I
about
mean,
the specific topic.
I only have like, as far as my mid to higher tier examples, like obviously, I feel like I've had maybe 3 people in my life, but 2 very distinctly that obviously were male centered friends. That the friendship didn't work out for those reasons.
Yeah, I think to just like give an opinion on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
anybody that's really centered on the opposite sex, like there's a lot of danger that comes with that. And like you said, there's different tiers. So there's people that are gonna go to the extreme. They're gonna like, because men do that too. Of course, men are probably the bigger culprits of doing that kind of stuff. Because men do that same thing where they start pulling up like, oh, you wearing my hoodie that I gave you? Give me my hoodie back, like all that kind of stuff.
Like make it obvious,
like crazy dirty macking,
Yeah,
right? So
dirty
that's like
macking.
kind of like jealousy, lower tier kind of thing. Then you got the mid tier guy that wants to just copy everything you do and like go after the same women
and
as
still
you.
sleep with your friends. Remember, there was a
Yeah.
situation like that with podcasters, right? No, what did we watched something where that happened, where a guy said that like his friend kept sleeping with all his friends.
Oh yeah.
What was that?
That was that was a that was a podcast clip. I
Oh, you
forget
know what?
who-
I think it was Rory and Maul at the end of their segment when they asked questions.
Oh,
or,
yeah,
or it was the
it was.
Yachty one. It was one of the. It was one of the ones. It might have been Yachty's. It might have been Yachty's podcast or Rory and Maul's. Where the end section where they
ask questions. Yeah,
ask
I forget
questions.
which one it was.
And the guy was just basically complaining about how his friend. Like,
It was Rory's.
Like, yeah, I think he
Rory
was like,
Maul's.
should we still be friends with this guy? Like he copies my whole style and then he sleeps with all the women I'm with. Like, but that's
Well,
sick.
tries to,
But that's
yeah.
mid tier. Yeah, that's mid.
And then the crazy one is like, yeah, now you trying to kill people over a woman,
Yeah.
like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, in general, yeah, people that are super obsessive about the opposite sex and getting whatever attention they want from it, of course, it's dangerous. But
And for me, I feel like there has to be a certain amount of like offenses that they do where you could feel like, okay, this person potentially could put my life in danger. I got to cut them off.
I
Like-
cut people off for nothing. So,
Yeah.
and that's not a flex, because people say that with like some weird intention. But nah, to be honest, the reason why I do that is because I like to nip things in the bud before they become
Bigger.
a real problem. So if I see you doing like weird dirty macking, or like you're just doing weird stuff, like you liking certain pictures, like all that kind of stuff. Like if I see certain behavior, then I'm just gonna cut it right there, because I'm not gonna allow you to get me to a point where you're doing something crazy, and then I might
And then you snap and
then
now you're the
then
bad
I'm
person.
wild,
Yeah.
and now I did something crazy out of pocket.
That's one of my only regrets is that I didn't nip stuff in the bud earlier, right? So like, well, obviously with one of my other examples, like, not to get super personal, put my business out there, but like, obviously it involves us, right? With a friend who I would say in a way kind of pursued you, or like was like still like flirting with you or trying to get at you, like while me and you we weren't dating yet, but we still were like in a crush phase, and she knew I liked you, and she was my friend, and was still kind of like doing that, right? So I feel like with a situation like that, like I should have nipped that in the bud earlier. Yeah, like. Cause it was funny. I actually found old messages recently where I was like complaining about her to another friend, and I was like, she keeps play fighting with him and like being weird and asking him about her food, and like the friend was like, you need to say something, and I should have like could have used nip stuff in the bud then it kind of could not always not always necessarily prevent stuff, but it could have possibly prevented a lot of
Buy
like
her food.
yeah, she wanted you to buy her food from the diner or something. It's funny, I don't remember any of this stuff, but when I read the messages back, I was like, dang, she was, and you remember, I used to always complain, I'm like, she's so extra, like, relaxed. Like, she was very male-centered. I clocked it from jump, clearly. And, like, her actions, I'm not going to put her business out there, but her actions on that campus clearly proved that she was very male-centered, like, needed that male validation by any means necessary.
Who crashes out more when they're the opposite sex centered? Men or women?
Men could be more violent, but women drag it, and they do a lot of dirty, grimy stuff.
Women are they're very
Because
slimy.
it's easier for a woman to do that, because as a male, there's no guarantee that you could get your friend's girl, especially if you don't really look good. But as a woman, you could look like anything, and there's still that risk always, because you're a woman. Like you could get any guy really if you throw a vagina at them. So I feel like women can end up low-key crashing out more or doing more damage, because it's if you're throwing your vagina at a guy, of course he's gonna say yes, even if you're hit. Like he's gonna be like, "You're ugly, but okay, you throwing it at me." A girl might be more so like, "Ew, like don't talk." You know, and then I feel like sometimes girls are more emotional too. So it's like they might feel more love in a relationship. So they might be like, "Ew, like your friend's trying to talk to me," like telling the boyfriend, like, you know, I feel like men are more likely to dabble in.
Women are sneaky.
They're
That
really
shit is crazy.
snaky, and it's like that's why it's like, damn, like you know, if you nip stuff in the butt earlier, you could prevent a lot of your own damage and your own traumas. If you just like, I should have called stuff out from jump, but hey. But then you sound crazy if I'm like, hey, you're flirting with my man. Relax.
What's something that a woman-centered friend, a male-centered friend, did you in the past that you didn't crash out before, but you would crash out now?
You know, I'm not gonna say it.
Let's move on.
But, bruh, I always just feel, like I always say, a lot of people who've done me dirty in my life they're like they should be grateful because you could have did that to anybody else and you might not be alive. Like just be grateful that I'm not a crazy person, and be grateful that you gotten a slap on the wrist. Really, no one's really gotten as much damage that they should have gotten from me, honestly. But at least like with that one situation, with a dangerous situation, I called her out on it, like that when we had our big
but it doesn't
fight.
matter.
But yeah, then
to me,
and I called her out on it when I'm cutting you off.
Because think about it. What year was that?
2017.
That could have been the end of your life.
Yeah, I would have died at 20.
Yeah, and think about everything that you've done since then.
Yeah, now that I think about it, that was a really crazy situation. Like imagine this nigga sitting behind me and I'm like on the edge of the bed. Or no, you know, I was sitting on the edge of the bed. He was sitting like in a chair. It was like that. Cause they started having sex behind me on the bed. And then they left the room to, I guess, the other guy's room. Luckily, like it was like he was just on his phone, but I didn't know. I was like, it's like we probably could find the messages, but I don't want to get back into those triggering moments. But yeah,
You already brought me there.
I know. Ooh, that's why I feel like even with you, like a lot of people are lucky because me and you both, like the stuff that we've been through and stuff that people put us through, bruh. A lot of people are real lucky. You know what it was too? A lot of people, it's because we valued our education. Remember, even when a lot of stuff happened in our relationship, I was like, don't do it. Like we got school, like we valued our education too much. But if this stuff happened and like outside of that, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wasn't trying to get kicked off campus, so I didn't crash out as much as I should have. But whew.
Let's move on.
But anyway, so my conclusion is that, yeah, I feel like, I feel like male-centered women, I'm not saying that they don't deserve sisterhood, but they don't deserve my sisterhood. Because you're just going to get trauma from those type of friends. Like they're never going to value you as a friend. If a man that they deem really attractive is somehow involved in the friendship, they're not going to be a good friend to you.
Yeah, and they could also potentially bring that over into your relationships and all that kind of stuff. So it's not always guaranteed that it's a dangerous thing, but for the most part, I feel like it leans towards the side of being dangerous.
It could get dangerous,
either from a safety standpoint or dangerous to your relationship because they might be trying to pursue your significant other, or they'll try to emulate whatever it is that you got going on, and it creates jealousy.
The emulation stuff is so real, and I dealt with that with this specific friend. Like there was a time I remember she peeped at me and you were bonding over Kanye, and then all of a sudden she started to learn Kanye lyrics. I'm like, oh my so many weirdos in my life. I just don't understand why I attract them.
Yeah, male-centered women. Some of them are cool, but for the most part, as a woman, if you're befriending some of them, just beware. Just be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not worth it. Not worth your sanity too.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, well, speaking of relationships, kind of, sort of, men and women, and romantic connections. Love is Blind. I know you don't watch that show. I know you don't care.
I don't.
Well, just to put that out there, I watch it because it's entertainment, but I just want people to really stop taking these shows to heart. 'Cause I think people take it too seriously. Like I'm sure some of it is real, but I'm sure a lot of it is fluff and entertainment. Like there's no way you're acting 100% normal with the two cameramen or multiple cameramen like this in your face. For one, for two, it's entertainment. I'm sure there's a level of production to it. I'm sure there's a level of re-recording. Like I even heard there was a couple that broke up on the show that they had to re-record their breakup. Like that's dumb. So imagine like your breakup might have been authentic, but now it's like, wait, we gotta record that, and now you gotta pretend to break up and go on camera again. Like, you know. So I just hope anybody, like I feel like a lot of younger people take these shows to heart, and then I feel like people think this is how life should be or how marriage should be. So I just think these shows are fine as long as people don't take it too seriously. But I feel like a lot of them do.
Everybody takes it too seriously.
Yeah, they be crashing out and crying and stuff over the show. I'm like, come on.
My question is like, because you actually enlightened me to this point, right?
Yeah.
Because reality TV to me is stupid because I think it's dangerous. I think it's a dangerous type of entertainment. But then you said to me, basically, how is this any different than like a movie with the same type of storyline?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the differentiation between that is because I think people have a better differentiation between movies and real life. So I feel like if you're going into like a movie and you're watching something, it almost seems way more like fake, or like you can discern that this isn't real, even if it's depicting something that's real. I think just the way that we consume it is a little bit different. Whereas like if you're watching a reality TV show, it almost feels like you're watching like somebody on live, like IG Live or something like that.
Especially because they do the camera's motion sometimes to give it that real life effect.
Yeah. So like, so while I do agree with you, because that is a good point, you could have this exact same like Love is Blind storyline or any reality TV show like this storyline and put it into a movie, and so it's still entertaining. Like it has to be logically, because I was like, how do people get entertained by this? But when you put it from that perspective, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's how I get entertained. But some people take this stuff like this is literal. Like,
yeah,
like really feel this way. They hate each other. Oh my god, like he's so this, he's so that. Like slandering, calling people by their names. I'm like,
and we talk about this all the time. It's like people don't know. People for some reason like think that entertainment is real, right? Because if the things that they show on TV depicted real life, it would be really boring.
Yeah.
Like real life is not
real life is mundane.
It is very mundane. So that's why they have to make it so dramatic and over the top, and it's entertainment. That's what makes something entertaining, is when it's so like over the top, right? That's why you would pay to go see an NBA game, but you're not going to go pay to watch people at Lifetime play basketball, because it's way more over the top in the NBA. You got popcorn and music and cheerleaders and all that other stuff because it's big. It's like dramatic. But
at its core, the actual game is boring.
Yeah,
like
the game itself is boring.
It's just basketball, like.
But yeah, and so people just have to stop looking to other people for. It's like the seeking community kind of thing. And while I do get it, you should not seek community, and the community you seek should not be what you see from social media. So like with the Jersey Shore or The Bachelor or what's some other ones? The Real World or Love is Blind.
Yeah.
What's the other one? What's the other
the one that I watch?
Love Island.
Yeah.
Like any of those kind of things. Like I get the entertainment aspect, just like I enjoy watching like gangster movies.
Yeah.
Which usually are depicted off of real life, but I enjoy those too. But you got to compartmentalize, like just use.
I don't think a lot of people separate entertainment from real life. Like, and like some of these reality shows do have real elements too, because there's still real people that are put in these situations, and they still might catch feelings. They still might have genuine conversations and still really fall for these people. But I do feel like there is an element of acting and there is an element of entertainment, because at the end of the day, this is a bag for the Love is Blind people. They're making a bag. The people on the show are making money. They're trying to grow a brand, a personal brand, so they could venture out and do other things with it. So at the end of the day, people got to see that. And I just feel like it scares me when people are so blinded. Like, it's like sometimes sheep behavior. Like when I see everybody online talking about it, and like I get it, talk about it because it's entertainment. But people are like, that guy, Clay, calling him out his name. Oh, he's a B. He's this, he's that. I'm like, damn, girl, relax. Over a show? Like, and they still kicking it to the day, of course. Like, they're still together.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have gone on a show about marriage in 6 weeks if he wasn't interested in getting married in 6 weeks. But
entertainment.
It's entertainment.
That was probably the script.
That's not a realistic thing anyway. Nobody should be getting married in 6 weeks. That's stupid. I'm sorry. It's stupid. The concept of the show is dumb to me. It is. I feel like it would have been a cool show if it didn't have that pressure that you had to get married.
I think if it didn't have that pressure,
it would
just be a regular.
It would be a good show though, to me. I think, but I think it adds. That's what it's so outlandish that it makes it entertaining. Yeah,
that's because they have to force the issue.
Yeah,
but people take it so seriously, and it's like, I think that you could meet somebody. It's 6 weeks, you said?
Yeah, 6 weeks.
I think you could get with somebody within those 6 weeks and then eventually develop the relationship. But there's no way that
That's not enough
6 weeks is
time
enough time to
at
develop anything
all. To
with
marry
anybody.
someone, a lifelong commitment, you think 6 weeks is enough time. And that's why I think some people take that and they run with this. So now they go out into the real world and they think they can meet a man. And if you don't marry me in 6 weeks, he's a narcissist, he's manipulative, he's weak-minded, he can't handle a real woman. Like that's what it is. Because you watch this show and you think that I'm supposed to be married in 6 weeks. And if a man don't give you that now, he's all these things in the book.
Yeah, even if it's
Like-
6 months is not enough.
And not realizing where you fall, because that relationship with the AD and Clay, apparently a lot of stuff that wasn't shown was that her finances were weird. Like he was very confused about her money sources and her money management. And that's important. Like you're about to bond two people together. You could mess me up for life. Like if you marry a woman with bad finances, that could literally be your end.
Or the other way around.
And then or the other way around. And then
But
you divorce and they
definitely-
take half of it. Like
Definitely the man marrying a woman with bad
Yeah.
finances is
It's important.
definitely worse.
But people don't see that. They think, oh, lovey-dovey fairy tale. They're supposed to be married in 6 weeks. None of that other stuff matters. You figure it out once you're married. No.
Hopefully nobody ever said that, but
No, I think that's how people approach marriage. Like I think people, and I think is that what I wrote down? Yeah, I feel like people have a jaded view of marriage. Like I feel like a lot of people don't view marriage as like you build a strong foundation and then you marry. I think people view marriage as I meet this person. Like you should know you want to marry somebody in like a year or two. I'm like maybe, but it's like I meet this person, we bond and we vibe and we get along, we have stuff in common, we get married and we figure out each other in that marriage.
really, because
No, I feel like a lot of people view it that way. Like you build and marriage is hard. We build each other up while we're married and we learn each other while we're married.
nah,
People view it like that.
because that's like the reason why, like, that's like going to accept a job and you have no idea what the job role is.
Yeah,
Because
but that's what people's thing is though. You accept a job, but then you still learn the job while you're in the job. So that's how people view marriage. You learn the person while you're in the marriage instead of learning
kind
them
of, but
before.
I mean, you can learn within a role, but realistically, like, you should be getting a role based on your previous experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but not if you're entry level.
Yeah, but that's different.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's how some people view marriage.
They shouldn't view it that way.
They shouldn't, but I'm saying that's how people do. Like that's why there's so much when people hear about us being together for 9 years, it's so crazy to people because they're like 9 years without a ring. Even though people do understand we were young, we met at 17, so that's different. Like I guess if you're 25 and you date somebody for 9 years, now you're 35. Now it's kind of like all right, it shouldn't be 9 years, but it definitely shouldn't be like 1, in my opinion. It should be like 2 years minimum, I think. And we're living with that person. Because that's the other thing. People do the traditional route, they don't even live together. But I feel like you have to live together to kind of really know somebody.
I don't even know, because I didn't date as an adult, so
I know. And that's why we kind of we're not really the best sometimes with understanding how adult dating.
Yeah, I
is.
didn't date as an adult, but for me, if I was putting myself in that perspective, I would actually want longer, because I feel like with us, it's like it's different because we grew up together. But I feel like if I was an adult and I was dating somebody for the first time, for me, I would feel like I would almost never get enough time, because I feel like I would be unpacking a lot more of that person because I wasn't there for it.
That's
For you, I know
true.
you better than you know yourself.
Yeah, because you were there for
'Cause I've
a lot of
been
my
there for
first. You were
everything.
literally there for like a lot of my first in life.
Like what? So
Well, you were my.
the
Okay.
so,
I said kiss. Like
so-
you were my like second romantic kiss. I kissed like people at the club and stuff, but you were like my like second romantic kiss.
So you were kissing people after you met me.
Yeah, but we weren't dating yet.
Mm.
I was just being
So you just
a 17 to 18-year-old.
so you just a perpetual just make outer.
No, I just had my weird moment. I was making out with those random people in the parking lot. I had 6 brothers, and
Before you got in the white van?
that might have been the event.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like that. Me and you met.
No, I know.
That was like after that.
I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, no, but
But-
like I get what you mean, because could you imagine somebody going through like let's say pretend like me and you broke up like in 2019, right? Like a 4 or 5 year relationship. Can you imagine meeting a woman like pretend you met me after a type of relationship we had in 2020? You met me in COVID. Can you imagine dating somebody who went through kind of a toxic 4 or 5 year relationship in college, traumatized, damaged,
Most people do.
and then now you have to unpack that? So like I do kind of sympathize with people who, or empathize is the right word, right? Because I never went through it. Who date as adults, because I can't imagine that. I can't, like, having to now deal with somebody who's so damaged. Like when we met, I didn't have no relationship, so it was like I came in naive. This is what we call like
What
roses.
what dance is that?
This is glitter and rainbows and roses, and we're just so in love. I didn't come in with no traumas, no damage, no projection. I was just like, I love it here.
And what did you leave with?
Trauma.
And that's what relationships are all about. Before
but it
you
could
get
have been
married,
avoided.
before you get married, make sure you hash those things out because it's not going to be a relationship if there's not
Personally,
some of those things.
I don't think people should date until they're like 23.
Low key, I feel the same way.
I think everybody should just live their lives, be the thoughts they want to be, experiment.
I don't know about all that.
I don't think anybody should, and I know a lot of people approach life with this, but I don't think anybody should really try to get a serious romantic connection until like 23.
Yeah, I don't know about being a thought, but yeah, I think because for me, it's not the sexual part of it. For me, it's more so just learning yourself.
That's what I mean. Like you meeting somebody
But
while
more
you're
than-
still trying to get to know yourself.
But more than from the sexual standpoint, just who you are, what do you want out of life, like what's your
Yeah.
mentality on things, like really ask yourself all these different questions. And I feel like once you know yourself, then you'll be able to communicate effectively to somebody else what it is that you're looking for out of life.
And that's why a lot of our issues, we didn't know how to communicate. Because we weren't communicating with ourselves. So I didn't know what I really wanted. So how can I explain that to you if I don't know what I want?
You know what's crazy? I knew what I wanted, but I didn't want to want what I wanted.
I think that's how I felt too. It's like I knew what I wanted, but that's a good way to explain it. But it's like you know what you want, but you're still like straying away from it because you still want something else too, simultaneously.
Yeah. That's basically like what defined a lot of
Our issues.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. But yeah,
On both sides.
people should not focus on
Timelines.
timelines for
Yeah.
sure. Like it's definitely a feeling, and it shouldn't be dictated based on somebody else's feeling, and it damn sure shouldn't be dictated based on a TV show and what their timeline is. Like 6 weeks, nah. 6 months to me, nah. Because and the older you are, to me, the longer the timeline has to be. I know people when they get older, they're like, "Oh, we don't have much time," and I understand that. But to me, there's so much more baggage and so much more life experience that I feel like you get when you're older. And for me, I'm more than comfortable in our relationship now, with that kind of stuff. But for me, if I didn't know you, I would want to know everything. Like like if you wrote down everything that's happened for you from like, let's say from now all the way back to like freshman year of college, right?
Yeah, a lot.
Let's take all of that into account, and then let's say you're just single now, and then you have somebody else coming in. Look at that whole gap of history,
like friend problems, family deaths,
and it's like,
romantic issues.
Do you explain these things get explained to the person? They probably don't for the most part because you don't want to scare people off. So it's like this whole other thing. But the traumas will still show their face because you're still gonna be impacted by them. But you can't.
Even if you do explain stuff to people, they weren't there. So it's like there's only so much you could do with explaining.
Yeah, so
and there's so much details that you miss. Like you were there for like everything. Like you.
So you
missed out on my high school years.
I saw how
that
bad it was.
Like we literally cried together. Like it was, we had a lot of.
I was a part of the bad. So I was a part of these things. So I have a different perspective. But trying to explain that to somebody else, but also like, for me, I would want to know every detail. I want to know everything, so that way I know what I'm getting into. I know how I can be better for you, and just what to expect in general. But like, people are gonna be so blindsided with the baggage, and it's just like,
and a lot of people just aren't healed, so they go into relationships inflicting more chaos and pain because they're so damaged from what they went through.
I don't know if you should go into a relationship looking for that person to heal you.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And I think lots of people, that's what they do. Like, oh, this next man, hopefully he's this type of man for me. Like, heal my wounds, be my protector. Like,
I don't know if that's a good strategy. I think you should try to heal yourself. Like, your healing shouldn't be dictated based on somebody else. Like, that has to be an internal thing, because if that person now leaves you, then it's led you nowhere. But if you healed yourself aside from your association with that person, then I feel like you're in a better position. Yeah. And to put it in from a business perspective, when you have a business partnership, it's two different entities coming together for one specific goal, and they're
Yeah.
working together, but they don't intermingle the companies. Like
Yeah.
these employees will still be separate, but they're gonna work together to accomplish this one goal. I feel like in a relationship, you have to do that too. You have to both individually work on everything yourself, and get to learn yourself and develop as a person, and then you come together and then you
Yeah.
join those two things. But if you're expecting this person
Yeah,
to
to hear you.
bring you some, like bring themselves and then also bring extra and try to heal something that had nothing to do with them,
Yeah.
that's crazy expectations to me.
Yeah, people like honestly, people aren't, and this applies to both men and women. I feel like a lot of people aren't emotionally intelligent enough. A lot of people don't like these conversations that we're having. I don't think they have these conversations with their friends or with themselves. Like, you should want that, and you shouldn't expect that. But people have so much expectations in relationship, especially women. I feel like women put so much expectation onto men and what should be happening in a relationship. Like, this man should come sweep me under my feet and just heal all I've been through. Because nobody, like, doing self work is hard. And people don't want to do it because they're like that's a flaw in my opinion. Like you have to be flawed in some way if you don't want to face your demons. Like for me, I face all my feelings head on. I'm like, if I feel away, like I'm trying to heal from my, like stuff that I've been through. So it was like I feel a lot of people don't do that. They don't do that self work, and like you said, they either distract themselves with a man or they think that man's gonna fix them, and all they do is cause more issues for themselves. Now you just have more traumas and more life issues. And then you end up like an old bitter woman who just hates everybody, hates the world, hates all men, and it's like, or you just find an issue with every single man because one thing that he does reminds you of your ex. Oh, he's doing this like this one did, and like you're just like, or you might misinterpret something. Like a guy might be doing something so minor, and you're like, oh, he's doing this. I know he is because I dealt with that with this person. Like what? You don't even.
That's
And
wild.
then now that guy is scared. Now he's like, oh, this. And that's why this gets into a conversation where a lot of them older men why they pursue younger women. Like yeah, some of them are creeps, but some of them also just don't want to deal with like baggage. And vice versa, older women who might pursue younger men. So it's just crazy. Like honestly, I'm just grateful for our situation. Like it's pros and cons, right? Because like we just said, like when you kind of lock down early, then you kind of don't really get like that chance to grow on your own. Like I feel like we grew together, which wasn't a bad thing, but I kind of feel like when you lock down early, like you do kind of like are setting that like stamp for your life early. You like you don't really get a chance to like go out and like have other experiences, which isn't always a good thing because that could have caused the baggage, right? But it's like pros and cons because some people feel like they need that experience to at least have it. But then on the other side of things, then you have that experience and now you're meeting people later in life where everybody had their experiences and not everybody's damaged. So and then like you just said, now you have to try to learn all these stories and you don't really fully know them because you weren't there.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, like you were there for like what's people consider like the prime of their life. Like we were there, do it.
Yeah, I'd be too scared to try to like get the Carfax on somebody.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, you probably
know.
truly don't know everything.
You'll never know.
Like, and that's scary because it's like this person could like I always think about some of the people that we've known and how they're not we out in the world dating people, and that person probably has no clue. But we seen it because we saw them at their probably worst times.
That's the crazy part.
Like that's your wife was doing this and this. Like that's your wife, but
I have a specific example I can't say, but
yeah, like,
that was bad.
Like I know somebody who went to my high school who allegedly got a train ran on them, and she's in looking like a happy living relationship. I'm like, that man probably would never know that she was in the forest getting back to back niggas like in her. Like that's crazy, and he probably has no clue. That man has no clue. I mean, allegedly, because my friend who hated her told her. My ex friend who hated her told me this story. Because
if you found out your girl
was in the woods with a whole bunch of bums from our hometown. And he's a decent looking guy, so it's crazy.
What should a man do in that situation? Like, let's say they get married and they're only like 2 years in.
Well, some men do feel like they don't care that their woman was a hoe. They feel like, okay, that was her past. Like, I don't care about your past.
The past doesn't determine the future.
What did Kanye say? Like, she gave words into me.
Well, Kanye's sick, and we never pay attention to anything that he's saying.
But no, like some guys really don't care. Like they might have did their dirt, and they might have been way worse.
Whatever works for you, for sure.
Whatever works for you. But some guys might care.
For the one that does care.
And that's the thing. I feel like some guys care, and they tell their girls kind of like their girls kind of know that they care. But then that's why they're so kind of going back to the male validation thing. They care so much for that male attention that they kind of put aside their own morals or whatever to appease him. So you were that type of girl, but you're gonna pretend you weren't because you just want to keep this man. But there's definitely some guys who probably make like posts like, oh, I can never have a girl that's ran through.
Whole
And they're
time.
dating a girl that was ran through, and that girl will still stay with them because even though he's literally dogging somebody like you just are happy to have a man, so you're gonna keep him, even though he's literally dogging you. But he doesn't know that he's dogging you because he don't know because you're keeping that past to yourself. Which I wouldn't want, right? Wouldn't you want a relationship where you could be honest with your man? Like if I was out in the world, I would be like, yeah, I have this many bodies. Like, yeah, I wouldn't care. But I know some girls be embarrassed by it, and that's why they keep it to themselves. It's like
Don't be embarrassed by
do
it. Then why do it?
Like if you're gonna be that, then be that. Like I could respect that girl that'd be like, yeah, I got 15 bodies, and what? Like I respect it. And they might meet a guy who don't care. Like live in your truth, but don't hide it. Cool. Like that's my thing. I would never want to be in a relationship with somebody I feel like I gotta hide things from. That's not a good relationship.
You feel like you hide things from me?
Not anymore. I feel like after me and you had that talk, I feel like we just are really like open. Yeah. I mean, I do feel like at the level of like privacy that everybody's entitled to have. But I feel like there shouldn't be any major things that you should be hiding from anybody. There shouldn't be any feelings that you have that you're hiding. There shouldn't be any dirt. There shouldn't be any, nothing that you're hiding from a person that you're in a relationship. Like I feel like you should be able to feel like you could tell anything to your partner. So I feel like if you can't even tell your partner like you're about your past, like and all the fun that you might have said that you had, like imagine this. Like imagine there's a guy who has like maybe 50 bodies and a girl who has like 20. Imagine they both are just comfortable and sharing their stories and they're just laughing about it together. Like they're in a happy, loving relationship. They're like, damn, we was wilding in college, weren't we? And they're just both laughing about all their stories. That seemed like a cool relationship if you're that type of person.
You know what I hate? I know most of our conversations, like we would talk about this kind of stuff anyway. Yeah. But I hate that I can't joke with you the way I want to.
Why?
Because they don't get it.
What are you about to say?
Because I would have just made a joke like, oh, that's like us. The 50s, well, yeah, obviously. But see, I can't even make jokes like
that.
That's
not us.
It's not even anywhere close.
Well, but I can't even. No, man. But no, wait, yeah, not 50.
Let's move on.
Whoa.
Let's move on. That's it.
No, but no.
No, like we're gonna move on to the next topic. We're gonna move.
I'm gonna read the rest of my notes I wrote for this. So I said, love is blind, and the potential negative impact of these shows and jaded views of marriage. Not take your time in line before. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I said. Like,
yeah, we're done.
No, but this is to kind of like get a full wrap of what we're saying. But yeah, I just feel like I think the best situation is to align with your partner beforehand, because like I don't know if you probably saw it. I reposted a TikTok where somebody said this. They explained like marriage perfectly. She's like, because people always say like, oh, is marriage hard? Like, and the person was like, I think it was like Stitch's video of you're married. Like, tell me, is marriage hard? And people always feel like, oh, marriage is hard. Like you always hear that, right? Like, marriage is hard. Like, just know what you're getting yourself into. This woman said, marriage isn't hard. She said, life is hard. Family members die. Like, your husband loses family members. You lose family members. Finances might happen. Aging. You're aging. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Economy, stuff can happen. Job loss. She's like, friend loss. She's like, life is hard, but marriage isn't hard. She's like, stuff happens in life. And now, like, like I might have to deal with you in a low point. But our marriage is easy. Because we love each other. We're friends. Like, we actually like each other. We're aligned. Life is hard, but marriage is hard. And I was like, damn, she broke that down perfect. I was like, exactly. This is how it should be. Like, marriage isn't hard. It should never be hard. Like, I feel like our marriage will be easy because our relationship now is easy because we built it before marriage, which I think people should do. I feel like people don't truly align. And a lot of these shows, like Love is Blind, Love Island, I feel like a lot of stuff is so superficial that people don't truly align with their person. Like, there's so much more than just the fairy tale lovey-dovey stuff. There's so much more than that. Like, there's so much more than the good vibes and good sex and chemistry. Like, this person should be your friend. Like, you should be able to sit and talk to them without even touching each other. Like, we're friends. Like, we're friends too. Like, we could sit here and talk and just vibe, And people don't have that, and that's sad. I feel bad. Like, you should be like, I feel like me and you are friends.
I feel like I don't have that either.
Did I just spin myself? I did.
I feel like I don't have that either.
Babe, if me and you weren't romantically involved, I feel like we would be friends.
You know why we can't be friends.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know. We had a whole conversation about that. If you guys want to watch that, about female friendships. But I'm saying, like, we actually like each other. You know what I mean? And
do you feel like I like you?
I feel you do. I think you used to not like me, but I feel you do now.
Yeah, because you're a piece of shit.
I was. But, yeah. So I feel like these shows blind people to that because everybody thinks everything is all, oh my God, baby, I love you so much. I love you, baby. Oh my God, baby, I love you. Like, no. It should be like,
say it again.
Hey, friend. But then also we can make out 5 seconds later. Like, Like the way we be vibing, like to at the Kanye concert, the Travis concert, like doing the lyrics, like we actually like each other and like the same things. We're compatible. Like we align. We both agree with things like financially we're aligned. We have the same like goals. We agree with like we already talked about stuff with kids before kids were even here about like how we would discipline them and what we wouldn't do. Like we make the jokes about the whole having our kids in the house with their girlfriends and boyfriends, but that was just us just joking. But like
that was you. No, I'm being dead serious.
They could be in the house, but they can't be alone. Like
anyway, but we're not going down that path again.
Anyway, but but that's the thing. Like people don't have these conversations. Everybody just likes to have good vibes, cuddle. I don't think people have real in-depth conversations with their partners. Like I feel like like before marriage. I feel like even people who are married, I don't think a lot of people reach depth in their conversations with their friends, with their families. I don't think a lot of people reach the points that we reach. And I feel like we've had, and maybe that's the college environment that helps you have those nights where you're just drunk at 4 a.m. and just talking. I don't think a lot of people have those moments. And we've had so many of those where we just talk and get to the deep roots of stuff, like our childhood, what we've been through, the stuff that makes us who we are today, why we are who we are. Like, And that's why I feel like our marriage will be easy. Life is hard, but I feel like marriage will be easy because we're partners. Like we get along. And we've been getting along. We have a good track record of getting along for years at this point now, right? Like you think about college, those arguments every other day. Like sometimes I'll be searching for a word and I just see like our message from 2017 is back to back.
Speaking of which,
we haven't fought like that in years. Probably since college.
I'm probably gonna delete all my messages because I was thinking, I'm like, there's no point.
There is. It's just
I never need to reference them. I never want to even go back to, and not even whether it's a positive or negative thing.
Yeah, because
it's like, what am I going back to like March 17th in 2017? Like, no,
yeah,
not, like,
yeah. But yeah, like we haven't had like I would consider a bad fight in the years. Like like what we used to have, like in school, right? Like I feel like we've had years of consistently like a calm relationship. Like, yeah, we might have had like our little blips here and there of like more passionate conversations, but they weren't like fights. Like,
what were some of those conversations?
I'm not gonna talk about them.
Let's talk about them.
No, we don't need to talk about them.
We do need to talk about them.
I just feel like
let's have a therapy session in front of everyone.
Okay, I just feel like we had conversations about everything in our relationship before we moved to the next step.
What's everything?
Just everything, like all the stuff that like we've been through in our relationship and like.
What have we been through?
A lot. Would you consider what we've been through a lot?
I think.
Or was it like little situations that were big? Or was it a lot? I think it was a lot because every year it was like different things we were dealing with.
Well, one day if we ever reach 8 figures, we'll write a tell-all book.
Bruh, that'd be funny actually.
That would be fun. But
people probably be like, "Damn, why the fuck did you guys get married then?" Well, then you got married. Nah.
They'll realize everything on this podcast is cap.
It's not. I feel like it's a real.
Seeing all of my eyes I can't see.
I think we will be a true testament to life and perseverance and working for it.
All right, we're moving on.
Anyways, align with your people and stop getting married in 6 weeks and stop taking these shows to heart. Get a personality and get some discernment, please.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on the topic of marriage, I feel like we said on Love Is Blind, one of the more popular couples, AD and Clay. There was a topic of conversation of finances and him saying her finances were shaky and that's why he one of the reasons why he decided not to marry her, right? So I feel like this is like a good time to have a conversation about should you marry somebody who's bad with money and has bad credit, and like when do you discuss these things in a relationship?
I think no, and I think within the first 3 months. And I feel like
first 3 months of dating somebody.
Yes.
You know what's funny? Some people actually go into dates, like first dates. Like, what's your credit score?
Here's the thing.
My mom actually dealt with that on one of her dates. He was like, "What's your credit score?" And she was like, "Huh?" She got thrown off by it.
I'm not mad at that because why are we even wasting our time?
Don't waste our time.
Like there's certain questions to me where, depending on the answer, it will cut off all future anything. There would be all future communication is gone.
Yeah.
People need to I do get men's perspective and some women's perspectives. You good?
Yeah. My straw broke, so I can't drink out of it.
Some women's perspectives and some men's perspectives on like the women that are so money centered.
Yeah.
So like I get it, of course. Men that don't really have money be mad that women want money from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they had it, they wouldn't be complaining. But whatever. To me, I'm not mad at that because it's that's part of what the marriage is. Like you're interlocking finances anyway. So to me, that's not a crazy question when that is supposedly the end goal anyways to get married. Then that's like one of the more major parts of it is the finances. So that's not a crazy question to me. So if somebody's pursuing somebody and they don't want to continue to pursue them because their finances are bad or their credit is bad, like that to me makes sense.
Yeah, because my whole thing is too, like, even if somebody asks for your credit on the first date, that wouldn't throw me off because, like, why are you embarrassed about your credit score? Like, for me, like, people act like credit score is such like a top secret thing. Like, it would be the equivalent to someone reading your report card in school. It's literally just a report of how good you are at paying back debt. I think the reason why people think it's so private and you should keep it to yourself is because they're embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
Like, what harm is it for me to tell the world that my score is 768 now? It was 771. What you guys gonna do? You gonna steal my identity now because you found out my score? Like,
to me, it's weird. To me, it's weird in the same way that everything people post on social media is weird.
yeah,
I don't see any need to.
Yeah, you don't need to post it, but it's not top secret information.
It's like the equivalent of somebody like doing a money spread on the arm,
or like how we used to judge people who did post their grades in school because we're like, okay, like congrats, you did what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, so it's kind of like pointless, but all social media is pointless to me. But
there's no harm in it.
But I know that if people have better credit scores, they'd be more likely to not to post.
Because people would be like, why you guys posting your credit? Like that's invasive.
Not really.
What? Now you know I pay my bills on time. Ooh. Like what? I'm not posting my full name, address, social security. That's stuff you keep to yourself. Yeah. But your social security, I mean, your credit score is just your credit score. Like it's just a score on how good you are at paying your debt.
Right.
And how much revolving debt you have, how many accounts, the age.
And here's my thing. The reason why I would be super, super, super hesitant, because you could have a bad credit score and have money.
You could.
The odds of that are very unlikely. That's only really entertainers.
Yeah.
But to me, I think credit score is a financial instrument, but I think it also tells a story about that person's life in general, right? Yeah. Because we know that the credit score is how timely you are with your bills, how much debt you're in, all that kind of stuff, which is a responsibility tracker, basically.
Yeah.
So to me, if finances, which is probably one of the more important things after your health, is probably the most important thing after your health. If you can't even have that in line, right? How am I going to expect you to be able to take care of me if you can't take care of yourself? Mm-hmm. And then how are you going to take care of the kids?
Yeah.
So to me, credit score is super critical because it's an indicator of those different things. And now people can turn their life around.
They can.
You can. But let me read your credit report to see how consistent. Because
credit score doesn't always tell a story. You got to read the report because some people actually have bad credit just simply for the fact that they don't have enough accounts. So they might just have one credit card in a car and that's it.
Yeah, because I told you I just had to do a dispute because they had some account that doesn't even belong to me on my score, which was making it drop down. And I'm like, I don't have this $12,000 in debt right here. I'm like, where did this come from? Like that's not mine.
And also too, some people's age is not big.
Yeah, if you're young.
I mean, the highest impact of a credit score is credit cards, like how much usage, utilization, and also like having debt and collection, like late payments. But lots of times people do have impacts. Like 2 accounts is not enough. You should have like a good healthy maybe like 10 accounts. I think they say is like recommended.
10 is nuts, but yeah.
I know, but I mean, if you think about it, it adds up. Like you might have 2 or 3 credit cards, a car, a house. That's 5 already. Then we have student loans. We have like multiple student loans. So we're probably.
But once some student loans are gone, I'm not gonna have really any.
I'll probably have 3 credit card or 2 credit cards and a car and a house. That's it. But.
Yeah, and even a car isn't gonna. Because like mine's paid off now.
And I mean, like it sounds crazy, but the reason why they like to see a lot of accounts because the whole idea of a credit score is they want to see that you could handle a huge load. Like you could handle paying back 6, 7, 8 different people.
Yeah.
Like so someone said, okay, look, this person paid back 8 people timely. Okay, I trust to give them a house. So it does, but like you said, like I feel like on the first date you said what's your score and the person's like 6, I'm like 60, and they seem embarrassed by it. See this report. I mean, it sounds crazy to come to the date with a report.
660 is not even.
Yeah, that's considered like fair. Right?
Yeah, that's
but if somebody come in there like my score is 500, you might be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like stuff like credit age and not having enough accounts won't lower your score enough to be that low. No. I feel like your score is only that low if you're not paying back your debts, having late payment stuff in collections, and your credit cards are maxed out. That for me is the only way your score could be that low.
Yeah, I think it's an important financial question. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, people do bounce back. They do. And if they show that they could do that, but I don't know. It's still like my whole thing is that low key. I mean, everybody's entitled to love and stuff, but maybe you shouldn't date until you get yourself together. Get your finances together.
And everybody's different, but for me, because I'll only just speak for me, I want to be in the best position possible for myself, just personally, so I can survive in a world independent of you, independent of anybody else, my parents, anybody.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to get, like, my finances are going to be in order. Credit score, salary, all that kind of stuff has to be in order because I want to be the best version of myself for you and for kids. So that's first and foremost. Now, to me, that's important. Like, that's really important to me.
Yeah.
Even like job security, and there's just certain things where I want to be in the best position possible. And I feel like you owe that to the person that you're pursuing, because you need to be a support system for them just in the same way you would want them to be a support system for you. So if you're not able to take on financial responsibilities and be able to manage those things properly, I don't know. It's possible, and you know, money's not everything, but you know, it could potentially be an indicator for potential problems or just more of a load that you'll have to deal with yourself. So I'm not saying you're on a date, they give you it's $620 and then you say,
all right,
get out, don't ever talk to me again. I'm not saying that, but you should. It's one of the things that people don't talk about that you should pay attention to.
And that's why it ends up, I think finances is like probably if not number one, definitely number two, a reason why divorce happens. Like finances and infidelity are probably interchangeable.
No, I think
it might be number one.
I don't think infidelity is.
And look how easy that could be prevented if you have these conversations beforehand. Like I said, people think marriage is just like shits and giggles. Like people will probably disagree with us. Like, oh, that shit. If it's true love, who cares about credit?
Yeah, we're gonna get killed for this.
All this is fake. Credit is not even real. Like if the love is there, but I feel like this is important because if you want us, like, I think people don't view marriage as partnership. Like, it's not a fairy tale. We're partners at the end of the day. And it's like, unless you're a man who's coming in and saying, okay, I'm taking care of everything. Fuck your credit score. Fuck your finances. I make so much money, I'm providing. You don't have to work. You just watch the kids. You're a good mom. Who cares? But come on, that's not realistic in this world. Like, people need to wake up to reality. Only a small percentage of people and women are going to experience that. And it's most likely not you. Sorry. Like, so what's the next thing that people usually have? Men, like you just said yourself, like a lot of, especially if you're a successful man, right? Or pretty successful, you built like this, you work so hard to build up your credit score, like to build your finances, to build this life for you. If you want a partner or a wife, like that's your wife, that's your partner. You want somebody to build an empire with you. So you don't want to bring someone in that's going to drag you down. You want to bring somebody in that's we're going to build together and we're going to create this empire. We're both going to have these great credit scores, because credit, people don't realize having good credit is like a hack. You could get access to so much money. You get so much benefits. Like I could book a flight right now with $300 worth of credit card like points right now, you know?
We just got we're moving out, y'all.
Oh yeah, we are moving out.
And I had something to do with it.
And we never had to worry about, like, this is our second time moving, right? We moved to this apartment and now we're moving to another apartment. Like, so I never once felt worried with applying to apartments. I was like, we about to get approved. Here's my pay stubs. Like, I never was like, we're not gonna get approved.
Yeah, and they called up. They said
they was excited. Hey,
salary's fantastic. Credit's fantastic.
Yeah, they was like,
they're gonna.
I never got declined ever for anything that required credit or income checks. Never got declined.
She said, "Oh, the property manager gonna reach out
Sunday." She called us the same day. You're approved.
Email same day.
The guy probably saw our application, was like, yes, more money, because you're excited because you're getting good tenants.
I sent him a certain account.
Oh.
Because my one checking with the bills account is like zero.
Yeah.
So I didn't want them to be weirded out that it's zero, but I only use that literally just to pay out bills.
Yeah.
So I sent him an account that had a couple. Yeah. A couple of.
And then they see my stuff too. They're like, dang, this is a power couple. Like, that's a flex. Like, why do you not want to be a strong empire together? Like, it is important. Like, imagine the life that we're gonna live for ourselves. Like, we're already living a good life, I would consider. Imagine what more we're gonna have when we just keep achieving more and doing more. Like, and
now we're just bragging.
I know. But no, we can brag. We worked hard. We worked hard to
damn, cause a spike over there.
We worked hard to get to this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we just were born with good credit and good money. You know, we built this because we understood the importance. Like, I don't think people realize the importance. Like, I think a lot of people treat their 20s like a shit show. Like, they feel like they could just act like not care, and then 30s is
And
redemption
then
time.
fix it. Like you can't
Like
just
no,
turn,
this is our prime.
especially when it comes
This
to
isn't
finances.
prime. Yeah.
You can't really turn around finances that quickly
Yeah.
because you have to have the funds, like obviously the job to do
And you
so.
have to have
And
the
that's not
longevity.
that
You have
easy
to have the
do.
longevity. Like we spent our 20s building our credit, so now we're gonna go to our 30s. Once we get to our 30s, our credit age will probably be considered excellent. I think it's still considered like good or fair at this point because it's still young.
I haven't had a credit card that long. That's why.
Yeah. Well, my first account opened in probably 2015 or 14. I had a credit.
Mine was 16.
Yeah, it was taking around that time.
December.
So our credit
2016.
age is still considered like young. So mine is still like kind of yellow. I think when I look at it, like my credit age as far as like a fair.
Yeah.
But once we get to our 30s, once we get to like, that's probably gonna boost our score up. Just getting to the good territory. So it's just so important. Like when we get houses, you get so much like available credit. Like, you know, people talking about this Reese Tisa story, right? Where the guy got the chase letter where they said he had $750,000 for, you know, approved. We're gonna get stuff like that because of our credit, because of our, you know, how we built our lives. Like that stuff is important. If you're trying to build an empire with somebody, you don't need a woman that's gonna come in, or a man with bad credit. Like you can't even pay your bills. You think I'm gonna trust that you're gonna pay our combined bills now? Like you're gonna help. We have a house. We gotta pay back our house. We could lose our house, and you know you might not help me. You might be behind 1 month. Like that's not somebody I want to risk my, like everything I built for, you know, for you. Yeah, you look good, but your credit trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, the body's bodying, but that credit score. So,
Ain't gonna get it
and
done.
like you said, we might get killed for this, but this is, you know,
But it's
finance.
important, and
Finance is
people-
the number one reason, like you just said, for divorce.
Yeah,
So why
and-
is
and
like
people-
clearly is important to talk about.
Yeah. People. I always want to quote the Drake line, and I can never remember it. People with no money act like money isn't everything.
Exactly.
But all of your complaints are related to money, so it clearly is everything. So it's like you can't disregard it. I know it's uncomfortable, especially if it's like your credit score is lower. I get it. Like this, being self-critical is tough to do, but realistically, like that's one of those things. Like maybe it's not a first date question, and that's a personal preference, but it should come up
should
at
be
some point.
discussed.
Like you need to break these things down,
Yeah.
especially if your intention is to marry. You need to know these things beforehand.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't figure out why you're married, like, or right before when you already brought the ring. You know.
it's too late. Now you're tied to this person. Now, if they don't want to pay their bills, they're gonna come after you.
Yeah. And my thing is, if it's a situation with a woman with bad credit, like I said, or just women with bad finances, she could come in, tank you, and then leave the marriage and take half. Like take like
half your money.
spousal support,
And
child.
then-
What do you call it? Child support, spousal support, and now you're ruined.
And go get the man with the 800 score.
Yeah. So now you're ruined. She ruined you, and then now you're even more ruined because you had to pay her half.
Yep.
Like of your. So it's just like this stuff is important. And so much, like, you know, like you said, so much has have happened when it comes to financial situations, like marriages ending, lives ending. There was this man who had gambling addiction, killed his like wallets. Like he was in so much debt. So then he did a murder suicide, killed his wife, killed his daughter, and then built a bunker in the woods and then killed himself in the woods because the police found his bunker. You know what's funny? The way they found his bunker is that he built this thing so crazy that you could tell, like he built it for like months. So he was playing this for a while. The way they caught him is he was cooking in his bunker and they saw smoke coming from they was just flying over. Isn't that crazy? Because they were looking for him. They were running where he went and they saw smoke. They were like, "What's that smoke coming?" And he got himself caught. They probably would never found him.
What did he do?
But
He should have.
look, he killed his whole wife. His wife had money problems too. His wife wasn't really working and she sucked him dry. Like she made YouTube videos.
Hey, you.
She made YouTube videos like doing like crafts at home. She's like, my lovely husband, he supports my hobbies. So like, you know, he brought all her stuff for her hobby, and it probably was running him dry. And like, he had his own debt. And like, look what happened. Now they're all gone. Like, so you know, finances weigh heavy on people,
It's critical.
and it's so important. And like my opinion, I think the earlier the better. I mean, see if you're compatible with a person first. You don't have to bring it up like you said on a first date, but it should be discussed pretty early. You know, and it shouldn't be like an awkward thing like, hey, this is uncomfortable, but I feel like we need to talk money. I just want to see, and you know, I just want to make sure. I mean, I feel you could approach it like a good way. I just want to make sure, like, you know, you're somebody that I'm financially compatible with.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would almost, if I was dating now, I would almost want the first like 10 interactions at least to be
To
like
talk
that.
about it.
Like, not credit score specifically. But here's my thing. Like, I get the whole love, like, but
Yeah.
to me, I don't have the Disney fairy
Me
tale
neither.
story.
Like, and love
mentality
is
on love.
important,
And
but
it's
everything else is important too.
Yeah, all those
Like,
other things are important too.
mm-hmm.
Like, we can get to love at some point.
Yeah.
But
it's not Disney
I'm
movie.
not gonna love you if you're tanking my finances.
Yeah, it's not a Disney movie.
So for
Like,
me, I almost prefer the questionnaire. Like, I like nowadays, I would like the what is the biggest pet peeve you have? Like, all those kind of like questions that I feel like would be some sort of like relevance. The pet peeve one isn't a good example, but like, what's something in the world that you wish you could change? Like all the random conversations that
are
like,
you a morning person?
Yeah,
like, then that could be an issue in relationships too. If somebody stays up all night and they're like a night owl, and then you're like, unless you have a house that's big enough and you could go to a different room.
Yeah, like what's your perspective on R&B?
Yeah,
that's important to me.
What's your opinion on this? That like, I feel that would be cool to do, but I think a lot of people.
Are you pro Palestine or pro Israel?
Yeah.
It's important questions.
But I don't think a lot of people have the mental capacity. No, I truly don't think a lot of people have the mental capacity to actually have these like deep dive things. I think people just literally, like I said, I think a lot of people base lives off of good vibes and that's it. Like they go on a date and they just like, we're cute. Let's talk about superficial stuff and then let's go home and have sex and then just pretend that this is a great relationship because we're doing fun things together. But it's like,
no, that sounds like a great time.
If it was something casual, but people think that's what relationships are. I really truly think
I think so too.
I don't think people don't even view their relationships as the same as they would view like their friendships with their friends. But there should be that same type of like depth. What
you just described is definitely the vibes, but it's not the vibes with the expectations that people have. Like you can't do that and then also expect some level of like depth or like I'm gonna go to the ends of the world for you just based off of something that's like so minor. But it does sound like a vibe, like just chilling.
If you're like young and that's what you want to do, and a lot of people are open to that. Like they know that's all it is. But there should be like in a real relationship, like in my opinion, for relationships that last, like that's the thing. People always want the keys to relationships lasting, and then when you tell them, then they get mad. Like we're saying all this, but we're saying this from a 10-year relationship. Like a lot of people can't say that they've done that. A lot of people haven't had success like that. Like we're, I feel like an image of some sort of success. And yeah, some people have long relationships as a lot of settling. But we're not clearly. Like I think people probably can tell our vibe through the camera that we actually like each other.
You don't feel like you settled?
I don't feel like I settled at all. Because you know what's crazy? I was actually just thinking about it too because we were talking about credit. Like I just feel like we kind of in a way got lucky because it's like when our relationship started, it started off we were young vibes. We were just in college chilling. Like it was vibes.
Very much a vibe.
It was just vibes. Like how a lot of people view relationships now. Like our stuff wasn't like. I mean, we kind of got more depth because. What our relationship was that's more unique than like dating in the real world or even dating in high school is that you live with the person. Like we were together day in and a day out. Like you kind of have no choice to get deep with those people because like you're in their face every day. Like you have to get to know them. Like what else are you gonna talk about? Like you can't just talk about one topic forever. Vibes. So I feel like with college, you get that level of more depth. So that kind of helped us a lot with our relationship. But it was just this vibe. So it was this honeymoon phase attraction. It was nothing deep. Nothing, like it was surface level from the beginning, in the beginning. But I feel like where we got lucky, it just happened to be that you're good with money and I'm good with money. It just happened to be that you have good credit and I have good credit. And like, yeah, we built our credit score simultaneously, but you could have easily been irresponsible and I could have easily been irresponsible.
According to my score
is higher.
I have excellent credit.
Isn't my score higher than yours right now?
Your score is higher than mine right now.
Yeah. But your score was higher than mine at one point.
Yeah, they started tweaking. I'm like,
you paid off your card and it went down.
No, it typically is higher, but I'm like, why did it drop? And then I looked in the credit report. I'm like, where? I'm like, oh.
What was it?
Because I've seen that account appear in my credit report, but it doesn't appear in the other bureaus. So I was like,
some bureaus are more strict.
Yeah, Experian is like.
Yeah, Experian. I heard it's crazy.
I'm like, this is not even my account. So it dropped it, but I was
What's the one that always gives good scores? Not TransUnion.
My FICO. FICO. My FICO score.
Isn't that just
FICO is FICO uses TransUnion.
Yeah.
I think they use TransUnion.
Yeah. But what's the other one? There's 3: Experian, TransUnion, and
God, why am I gonna forget
it? It's gonna bother me now. Now I gotta look it up.
Isn't it red? I feel like their logo is red. No, TransUnion's is red.
Yeah. I mean,
the fact that we had this whole conversation about credit and don't even know the 3 bureaus is crazy.
Equifax. They be giving good ones too.
They do.
But yeah, these things are important, and I feel like we said, the earlier the better. Oh yeah, but talking about our relationship, I had to say, yeah, it's just so funny that it happened to be that we just aligned on so many things. That's why, like, cause yeah, like I said, our relationship in the beginning was superficial, but it just so happened to be like, dang, like we met similar, live in a similar like type of housing situation, right? Like nice neighborhoods. 'Cause we did go to city, I mean, school with a lot of kids like from the cities and like more urban settings. So it's like, dang, the personality we just bonded to was just like suburban black kids. So we had that experience to like relate to, right? 2-parent household, family of 5, Black American on both sides. Like I'm like, damn, this is really just my person. Like it's just, I don't know, the world just gave you me.
Damn, so I'm perfect.
Yeah, for me. Cause like, come on, like how do you align with all these things? Like especially being Black American on both sides. Like we live in New York, New Jersey. We have so many immigrants. Like we're a child of immigrants, and we both are foundational Black Americans on both sides of the family. Like
You're perfect to me too.
thanks.
Let's make out.
No thanks. But then yeah, then
You really hate me.
we went the same route with education. Like even talking to your dad, saying like, dang, like this is literally like we're just like aligned. Like you're like clearly like this. Your dad is a rarity. Like you don't have a lot of Black men who's doing what he's doing. So it's like the fact that like I feel like my dad, he kind of took the more like he was a police officer, so he kind of took the more that route. But my mom was like the corporate person and like really kind of made that path for my family. And then seeing that your dad was like the first person in your family doing that too, and then your mom, and we just aligned with that. Like a lot of people that we went to school with, I'm sure their parents are not doing half of what your parents do, and even my parents. So we just aligned on so much, and it's like I could have been horrible with my money. And
you are horrible with your money.
I'm great with my money. I'm great with my. Look, let's look at my bank statement.
Why you got all this necklace?
Yeah, it's $500 necklace. I'm wearing like $600 worth of necklace right now.
$600 worth of necklace. What is
Vivian
this?
Westwood and Chrome Hearts.
This is fake. What is this?
Chrome Hearts.
I bought this.
No, but like I'm pretty good with my finances. I'm definitely better than the average with my finances.
Yeah, you do.
I just need to make more.
You do really well. That's the problem. You do really well with planning and
I got a whole spreadsheet, a 4-year spreadsheet I've been consistently doing every 2 weeks. I fill out my spreadsheet and I budget. Like I'm like, all right, $300 I'm gonna spend on food and outings for the next 2 weeks.
Let's get you some money.
Yeah, if I made more, oh my god, people would hate me because I would be like flexing all day.
Yeah,
I'm ready for.
Because you're already annoying.
I know. I'm not at 6 figures yet, but wait till I get to 6 figures. I'm gonna get there next year or this year if I get a new job. I'm close. I will flex on everybody. Look how I'm living. I'm not even at 6 figures yet, bro. Enough of the flexing though, cause I feel like I hate when I not flex too much. 'Cause I'm not trying to flex, but I hate when it comes across that way. But I'm just proud of my life. I'm just proud. We worked hard.
I have not worked hard.
No, but I feel like
we
have a unique perspective because we both, like you said, we grew together. We seen it. Like we were there. Like I was there for literally your first job. Like you were there for my second job, but I was there for your first, like your first job. Like,
I was making $838. You know what's crazy?
Like we were there for our first corporate jobs. We were there for our degrees, getting our degrees together. Like we literally grew together. So I'm just proud of us. So it comes to us as bragging, but if it comes across that way, do better.
I was making $838, right?
Yeah.
And that $838 gets taxed. And I just had Chipotle the other day, and it was $15.
So you would have to work like 3 hours to get
like over 2
Chipotle
hours
meal.
to get a Chipotle meal.
It's crazy. Niggas came a long way. Think about my campus job. Like I was making 7 like something on that, or 850.
They should definitely. I think one of the biggest mistakes in America's history, aside from coming over here in the first place with the Europeans and wiping out all the natives, aside from that major issue and enslaving a ton of different people, aside from that, one of the biggest things that I feel like America dropped the ball on is raising wages in accordance to inflation.
They didn't.
That is one of the worst. It's not even horrible. It's inexcusable. I don't even have a word for it. I don't even think there's a word in the dictionary that explains how dumb that was and how much of an impact that has.
Yeah, because the way these houses are costing is insane to me. Like I feel like even people who are doing great financially are still kind of like
the minimum wage should have tracked inflation rates.
Yeah,
and it should fluctuate. Yeah, like in my opinion, I think.
Yeah, there's no way that it shouldn't have. Because if it worked at one point, then it should always work. Like that level of income to
because that's why
the ratio should always be balanced.
Yeah, because when they instituted it, it was like that for a reason. But how do you? I don't know what the national minimum wage is now.
I forgot.
Is it
over 10?
Or they've been changed already?
Yeah, I think they changed it.
I know New York, but they don't have a choice.
But that's the thing. A lot of New York and New Jersey places are, bro.
But they don't have a choice.
Yeah,
though.
they have no choice.
But they should. But the federal minimum wage should be to a certain point.
Yeah.
If it puts the moms and pops out of business, I'm sorry, but
it's just scary to know that when I started working in 2012, that I was getting paid $7.25. That was the minimum wage, $7.25 an hour.
yeah, that's what it was.
I was getting paid $7.25
Crazy.
when I was 15 years old. But that was a lot back then for me. I mean, I was balling in high school. I was buying a whole bunch of cute clothes, makeup. That was like the basis of my glow up. Was that having that job? 'Cause my parents were being stingy. They wasn't gonna buy all the stuff I wanted and needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll say all that to say. Yeah, I'm just grateful that me and you align on a lot of things. I feel like that's why I feel like, despite some of our toxic stuff that we had, I feel like it's hard it's hard to like ignore clear connections to somebody. Like that's too much of that alliance to just walk away from something like that, in my opinion. Like I feel like.
So you're saying I was getting too much money for you to ignore all the toxicity?
No, I'm just saying that we align like so much. Like we like the same stuff. Our family structure is similar.
Mm-hmm.
Same goals in mind. Like even like being at your aunt's house today and like seeing all the artwork. I'm like, dang, like this is literally like if my dad was here right now, he'd be like, oh cool, like I have the same black stuff. And I know you said a lot of black people went through that same phase, but still like Black American. Like I felt like, I mean, these are my peoples. You just feel like, dang, like how did I just meet somebody and have this vibe? I just feel like we're soulmates.
It's because I made it happen. When somebody wants something, somebody like myself, when they want something, you just go ahead and get it.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's just also cool to have so much in common. Cause you don't need to have.
I'm always being sarcastic.
I'm saying you don't need to have all those things in common for a relationship to work. Where it's cool to have it in common. Like you don't need to come from the same ethnic background and all that stuff.
I think we're the same person. You know what's funny?
I think we are sometimes.
Anytime I describe you to other people, that's exactly what I say. I say.
My mom always says that. She says that.
And my brother.
I'm the female version of you.
Me and my brother are literally the same person.
Yeah, you guys scare me. Like if you guys said that you guys were twins, then I would believe it. If he looked older, but he looks a little younger than you because he is. But
yeah, me and him are the same person.
Yeah, even down to how you guys talk, it's scary. Same demeanor,
interests, everything.
Scary.
Music taste. Yeah, me and him are twins.
I feel like me and you were twins, except I'm just the more like kind of cracked out version.
You're just a woman.
Yeah. So just different hormones.
If I was a woman, I would look like you.
Your forehead is not as big.
That's true. I have a great hairline.
See, I don't have a great hairline. Is what you're saying?
Nah.
Oh.
Yeah, cover that up. Honestly, we might need to put like a shade over it because it's like shining into the camera.
They say pretty girls have big foreheads though.
They lied.
Rihanna, Exhibit A.
You got anything else?
Nope. Not that big. We're gonna get canceled. Yes. If people don't like criticism, you guys are living a lie and delusional. You guys are living in delusions, and all those delusions catch up with you, and then you come crying on the internet, and then you guys become Risa Tisas and make your soap opera on TikTok. That was 7 hours. That 50-part series, and now she's like profiting off of it. But good for her. She's a good storyteller. I'll give her that. She's dumb, but she's a good storyteller. So.
All right, this is a Alex generated topic, so I'll show you how quick and efficient I am with my topics.
I'm usually the topic person,
talking
just
about
in case anybody wanted to know.
Talking about the same topic for 30 minutes.
Oh.
So this woman said, it was a TikTok, and a guy commented. I don't actually know the context of why he commented this, but he commented it. It says, "No man wants to raise another man's child and be the cleanup guy." Pass. I think that there's been this big wave of single mothers on TikTok kind of like uniting, especially because there's one guy, and I wish I could give him credit, but he made that parody to Agora Hills where he's saying, you let him hit it raw, you didn't have second thoughts, and now you're a single mom. And I feel like ever since then,
when you edit it.
I feel like ever since then, there's been a wave of single mothers just getting on the internet, getting on TikTok and like crying or just complaining about being a single mom.
Yeah.
But this guy says, yeah, no man wants to raise another man's child and be the cleanup guy. Pass. And at the time that I screenshot it, it had 13.8 thousand comments, and literally every comment was men agreeing with it. And also it was men that haven't done it before, but also there was men that have done it, and they're speaking from that perspective. So for me personally, I'll never be in that situation, but I agree. Like, it's the baggage and the trauma of coming into a relationship and trying to not only fix the person, but now you're asking that person to be a father for your kids, and I think that that's a lot to ask for somebody that you don't know.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it's too involved. You're still gonna have that other person in the mix too. Like I don't want to be competing or feeling like there's gonna be some weird animosity with me hanging out with somebody else's kid. Like I don't even want anything to do with the baggage and
Or
like
your life could be at risk.
yeah,
Going back
because
to our
we've
first
seen it.
topic. Yeah.
We
Could literally kill like the new boyfriend.
yeah, we've seen it happen. So
Or the new
I
stepdad.
personally, I don't want to do that. You know, I'd much rather raise my own child in the world and not raise somebody else's. And I don't think that that's crazy. So
And the messed up part is too, if a guy doesn't want to do that, like especially the single woman brigade or the single mom brigade. Oh, you're not a real man.
okay,
If when a man steps up, oh, see, he stepped up.
I'll take it.
He's a real man. He stepped up.
No, he a sucker.
Are you a real woman though? Cause did you make the right decision to who you picked as a child of your father? Are you a real woman? Did you do the best you could to find the best man to raise your kids?
And I'm walking that back. I'm just joking. I was being facetious.
No, but I hate that. Like,
a
what
stepfather.
makes somebody a real man just because they stepped up? Like, no, I I respect the men that do it, but that doesn't make
Yeah.
a man that doesn't want to do it any less of a real man.
Yeah, let me clean it up. Yeah, of course there's stepfathers that have shown up and they've done amazing for
Russ.
the kid
Russell.
and they helped them a lot. So there's nothing wrong if somebody decides to do that, but me personally, and I think most men would say that is not worth the headache of dealing with someone that's clearly damaged, right? Like you were in a relationship or you weren't in a relationship and you had a kid, either way, either scenario, and now you're going to be relied on a lot heavier than somebody that you're going into a relationship with that doesn't have a kid. Like if you're doing this from scratch, you're going to have a lot less of a headache to deal with because there's not that baggage.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's not every scenario is not like this because stuff happens, people die, the husband might
That's what I
die.
said. The widow stuff is different.
Widow stuff is different,
Yeah.
but in most cases you're going to be dealing with a level of trauma that you probably don't want, and you're not going to be able to escape it, to be honest with you. And you deal with the stepkid thing, right? Like they're like, you're not my dad.
Yeah, you're not my dad.
You're not my dad. Noodle head. Like all that kind of stuff.
That video was funny.
Like, so to me, it could just be a real weird scenario. So,
And unfortunately, I feel like the intentions might not be pure of the woman. Like I feel like a guy might question like the intention. Like, does this girl really want me for me, or does she just need a provider? Does she need somebody to take care of her kids?
yeah.
Does she really love me? Does she really want me for me, or is she just trying to find a replacement, or is she trying to one up the baby daddy? Then
Yeah.
you do inherit that baby daddy drama.
You do.
That man's gonna
'Cause
be
that's
part of
his
your
kid.
kid's life for 18 years at least.
If not longer.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. Like
couldn't
I
do
would, from a woman's perspective, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't date a guy who has a kid. No siree. I'm not dealing with the baby mama drama. You guys still might be canoodling in behind the scenes.
They might be what?
Canoodling.
They're definitely canoodling behind the scenes.
Yeah, there's no way.
Ain't no
Unless
way.
you hate each other. There's no way you don't drop the kid off and you're like, you looking good today.
Don't put, because I was going to agree with you, but don't put your sick thoughts on somebody else.
I'm just saying, I'm sure it happens.
I'm sure it happens too, but that's your thought process.
I've seen it happen actually in my own two eyes.
Anyway,
With my ex-friend, she was messing with a man with a kid. And the baby mama like tried to fight her.
huh?
My ex-friend was messing with a man with the kid. And the baby mama tried to fight her. But the baby mama still had feelings for the baby daddy.
Yeah, why would you even
I've
want
lived
that?
many lives with my ex-friends. They
Yeah.
they put me through some
Mhm.
some things. I've seen some things.
Yep, sure have.
But that goes back to the male-centered friends. That's why I have all these stories. All my stories come from my male-centered friends. I'll give it to them. They gave me some stories. They gave me some stories. They gave me some content for my life.
Content we can talk about on here.
But not good people to be around. But
Yeah,
yeah,
not stepping
as a
up.
woman, I'm not stepping up to be a stepmother. I would never. I'm sorry. Like, and also too, like I want that experience of having a kid for the first time with your person. Like when me and you have kids, I feel like that's gonna be such like we're becoming parents for the first time. Like we're experiencing our first together. Like I couldn't do that with a man that already has kids and deal with a baby mother and and taking and you have that responsibility of taking care. If you're with that person forever, you have responsibility to that child. Like, you know, you kind of have to raise them as your own too.
You're not the stepmother. You're the mother who stepped up. No, not rolling. I'm not rolling either. Good luck.
That seems like it could get dicey too, because now you have 3 influences and possibly 4, because if like, you know, let's say you step up as a stepdad, right? And let's say you're let's say the biological dad has a girlfriend, right? So who would now be the stepmom, right? Now this child has 4 different influences from parents. They have 4 parents with 4 different influences that all might have different viewpoints. Like, imagine your viewpoint as a man on how to raise your kids. Like, imagine you, like, I'm not beating my kids. But imagine then the biological dad is like beating on the kid, punching on him, or vice versa. Imagine you were raised on corporal punishment, so you want to beat your kid, and the biological father doesn't do that. That's gonna cause conflict and issues. And then now violence could get into it. Like, oh, you're not gonna put your hands on my son. Now he pulls up with a Glock, and now everybody's dead.
Why is it always a Glock?
That's the only guy I know.
Those are the gun brands.
I know Hector and Conch.
Hector? Is that the Mexican version? What is that? Hector and Conch? Who is that?
Heckler. Heckler and Conch.
Koch.
Heckler and Koch. Oh, yes, song.
Yeah. Now you a single mom.
Yeah.
That might be song of the year.
And that goes like, this goes back to our original thought about like our original conversation we had about like marriage and stuff, about like really, please, like, I want people to really take their time in life, because you avoid so much of your own traumas. Like I think people are like, I just listened to that song by Belly, Acting Different, and when he like that bar hit for me, and he's like, don't complain about the pain when it's self-inflicted. That part stuck out to me, because it's like most people's life problems are self-inflicted. Like, if you really take your time and align with a person, then your marriage will be trauma-free and effortless, like a beautiful marriage. Like, you live the ideal life that you want to live if you actually put the effort and work for it, and make sure that that person's like you're aligning. And I get this, the circumstances where somebody really just turns do the whole 180, and then you're like, whoa, who is this man? Like but lots of times the signs are really clear as day, and like like when you align with people. And I feel like when you do that work, then when you bring kids into this picture, your kids are good. Like, you're not going to be a single parent. Like, you're locked in, because the person that you pick is going to be like my mom brought that up about you, like how you would be as a dad. Like oh, like, what would you want for your daughters? I'm like, well, I already know what my daughters or my son are going to get, because Alex, I already see signs. Like, I already see how you would be as a parent. Like, I see how you are with like your younger cousins, how you are around babies. So I'm like, I feel like women don't pick up on these things, and then they're shocked. Like,
I can't wait to have a kid.
Then they're shocked when they have a partner that's a bad parent.
Well, actually, I take that back. I can't wait to have a kid, but it would be exciting.
But you're gonna be like, it's gonna be
be the best dad I can be.
Yeah,
that's what really matters.
And that's the thing. Like, you see that before you make those decisions. At least I do.
Because that's the whole point. Like, that's one of the things, is like the lack of selfishness. Like, yeah, I do get to enjoy things that my money is able to purchase, but really it's about setting up everybody else. Yeah, it's about setting you up. It's about setting up the kid. Like, that's the part that I enjoy the most about being able to do stuff, or like me being able to pay for whatever amount I pay for my cousin at the baby shower. Like, those things are important to me. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about, well, I care to a minor extent, but most of what I want to do really has to do with like my kid and setting them up. So that's why I'm excited, because I want to be able to like display all of the work that I've put in so far, and like be able to give that to now another person
and see how it impacts them too. Like, I feel like seeing like that
from scratch,
and seeing that person like grow into a healthy, loving life. Like,
I see what my parents did for me.
Yeah, and knowing that like I know like your parents probably look at you sometimes, like your dad was looking at that picture of all of us, like you and me, and then your brother and his girlfriend. And you probably like, dang, like, like, I really did this. Like, you built these, like, you built this from scratch. Like, these niggas would not be here. None of these niggas would be here for me, So it's like, there's probably a level of pride there. Like, wow, like, I really got to see, I really got to nurture and like build happy, loving lives for people. And then, now that impacts me, and it impacts like your brother's girlfriend, because it's like you raise these loving kids. And now they get to now spread that love into,
Am I spreading that love?
you spread a lot of things. Wait, sounds great.
Excuse me? Wait, what?
I gotta stop drinking on the podcast.
Yeah. Give You're done.
You know?
We're cutting you off. Anything else?
Yeah, I want people.
You good? All right.
Wait,
Thank you guys for
let
watching.
me just say that last part. Look, I was thinking all that to say, like, if you really take your time to build a loving relationship, I promise you, the signs of a good partner are there. Like, I mean, somebody being a good parent is there. Because, like, if someone's a good partner to you, then they'll likely be a good parent. And you got to observe these things. Like, people just think everything just happens when it happens. Like, no. How is that man around kids? Does he give nurturing vibes? Like, I feel like people don't do the work, and then they're shocked when stuff happens. Like, and I'm very empathetic to circumstances where people become single moms. Like I said, sometimes people just do a whole 180.
Yeah, people. Yeah.
And you're like you're completely blind because people are literally sick, like mentally ill.
Like,
they might put on
have
a whole
real
front,
issue.
and you might think like this person was good, and then they just flip.
That's why
I'm empathetic to that.
That's why I regret saying some stuff certain times, because like I want to get my whole point in within 30 seconds, because I don't want anybody to think that that's how I think.
Yeah.
Like, please don't let it be misunderstood. People.
Like, we're talking
change.
about specific people who literally turn a blind eye to clear red flags.
Yeah, people 100% change, and women get baited into, and on both sides.
Yeah.
People get baited into a relationship thinking that is one thing, and then it's something completely different. So we're not addressing those situations. You should 100% be a single mom or a single dad if that happens.
Yeah,
and it's
abusive
unfortunate.
situations, all that stuff. Yeah.
But I'm still of the perspective that I'm not taking care of that kid.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
I'm not stepping up. Yeah.
Sorry, but
But yeah, like that's why, like even when I be talking crazy on Twitter and stuff, I always make it clear, like the people I'm talking about it's like a specific group of people. Like when I talk about people like being, certain stuff with like education, degree stuff, I'm talking about like specific people because like I feel like we went to school with people where it was a leveling playing field, and they went there and BS this shit. Like they went in there and played games, party, didn't do nothing, and now their life is kind of shit. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna judge you because you had the opportunity. Like you were grateful, and I mean you were lucky enough to even get the opportunity to go to get an education, and you fumbled it. So that's who I be talking about. Like I don't be judging everybody. I judge the people who literally, do stupid shit on purposefully, and then they want to blame everybody. So you do purposefully super stupid shit, and then you get on the internet and it's like the government. No, you. No, Thirsty Thursdays. No, skipping class. Like, yeah, student loans are high. We all agree on that. But you working at Home Depot is because you didn't want to study hard enough. You being 30 at Home Depot is because you didn't. No, it's not the government. Cause then how come my life is what it is? And me and you were at the same school at the same exact time. So no. That's who I judge. Like Risa Tisa, I judge her because this guy clearly was lying, and you still married him and got pregnant by him in 2 months in. I'm judging you. I'm not judging the person who's in a relationship with somebody who literally switches on them or abuses them. No, I'm not judging those people. So yeah, we're making that clear. Like specific group, I judge people who do stupid stuff on purpose, and then they don't take accountability after, and then they blame the government, they blame men. All men are evil. No, not all of them. But some of them are.
You good? Yeah, I think it's time for you to go to bed. So, anything else? No. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the A Couple of Things podcast, where we talked about a couple of things. And we will see y'all next week, same time, same place. Be safe.
I was about to say something crazy, but I stopped myself.
What are you going to say?
I was to say we could go adopt some kids and be step parents together. Let's do that. That'd be cute.
We could be like Angelina and Brad.
Let's be the parents. Let's be the people that stepped up. The parents that stepped up.
Not the step parents, but the parents that stepped
up.
We do it, and we'll have our own kids.
Let's go find some single women and be like, we'll be the parents that stepped up.
Oh, I was really confused. I was confused
single
about
moms. Single moms.
I was confused where you were taking us for a second. All right, it's time to go because you wilded now.
All right, let's go. I'm having a ban of alcohol.
Goodbye.
On the
No,
podcast.
we're done. Yeah,
we're banning alcohol.
Yeah, you're done because you wild.